Hi, I'm Wendy from Reclaim Movement. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 daily natural movements I didn't do before I was injured and why I realise now how important they are. For some background, I became a natural movement coach after my body told me in no uncertain terms that I had to make some changes. I suffered 4 years of chronic back and hip pain from a sudden and rather inexplicable running injury. While searching for answers, I learned about natural movement, and studying it made me realise I'd been avoiding or didn't even think about using the movement patterns in this video, just like many people in today's modern world. I realised how key they were to staying mobile and strong, to age well, but more importantly for me, to avoid getting back into pain. With this YouTube channel, and in much more detail in the Reclaim Movement membership, I bring you technique tips on how to access all these movements and ideas on how to start incorporating them into your daily routine. Number 1 is squatting. Not just air squats either, but the deep primal squat. It's often seen as the most challenging of them all, and yet there are many reasons we need to work on our deep squat. It's really good for getting hips moving in ways we don't use in modern life, that are dominated by chair sitting, driving, and so on. Think opening out by rotating and weight bearing. The added benefit of this is that the deep squat also lengthens the pelvic floor, which can become chronically overtight from sitting in chairs with a tucked pelvis when we lean against the back of the chair for long periods. I add squatting in, as you can see, at the washing machine, using a dustpan and brush on the floor, to scroll or to make me scroll less, and as many opportunities as I can get, as well as in my classes, of course. If you haven't tried for a while, accessing it is easier when you move through simple progressions. You can find some of them in my video, 9 movements you can master to learn how to deep squat without falling over. Number 2 is getting down to and back up from the ground. Since coaching, I've realised just how much this is, sorry for the cliche, use it or lose it movement. If we struggle to get down, and especially back up, it's a clear signal that we're lacking necessary mobility and strength to remain as independent as we can for as long as possible. In studies, our ability to do this has also been linked with healthy longevity. If we want to keep the skill going, even if just for safety reasons, we need to practice it daily. It also helps lessen the fear of falling the distance to the ground, as it becomes second nature, and we practice using different methods for improving mobility and strength and fitness just by doing it. I remember to do it by choosing to do many tasks on the ground that I wouldn't have thought of doing before. You'll see that in the next part. If you struggle with getting off the ground because of your knees, or even if you don't, then try my video, How to Get Up and Down Off the Floor Safely, the cross-sit pivot get-up movement, which has helped a lot of people to unlock one way to get you started getting down and back up again. Number 3 is sitting and moving on the ground. This has been, again, sorry for the cliche, a game changer. I now do laptop work at a standing desk that I use on the floor. I sit on the ground to read and scroll, to sort my washing, as you'll see, and so much more. The ground acts as a great reminder to move by making us feel a little bit uncomfortable every few minutes, allowing us to shift positions, use different muscles, and fire up all our physiological systems. It's called active sitting because we're holding up the top half of our body by our core and hips. Our body is switched on, unlike when we sit in a chair. There's also the added bonus of having to get the whole way down here and back up, as I just talked about in number 2. If you haven't used the ground for a while, as the amazing piece of movement equipment it is, then sign up for my free ebook entitled Making the Ground Your Friend for Life, which is linked in the caption. which shows you different sitting positions, different ways to get up and down, ideas of when to get floor time, and ways to make yourself more comfortable there while you transition to using the floor more. Balancing. This is something I completely took for granted until my natural movement certification, and then on testing it realised I had to practice to pass. I also realised that I couldn't take it for granted again. We all know that falling is the highest cause of injury-related death in the elderly, so being able to balance well has obvious preventative benefits. It also means that when you start becoming more confident through using good technique, you want to practice more and in different places. I find that it's helped me to rediscover playing in the woods, like I did as a child. This has made me realise that play is a key part of life. Whether you're younger or older, bringing connection with others, improving confidence, and it's so good for mental health. To test your balance and to start practicing your balance at home, with only a cushion needed, try my video 7 balance tips and exercises to practice every day to prevent falling as you age. And finally, number 5 is hanging. This one came as a real surprise to me. Having always felt quite weak in the upper body, I always thought it was beyond me. It's still the most challenging of all the natural movements I incorporate, but like balancing, it brings confidence. It's also incredibly strengthening and improves upper body mobility, as well as real improvements to general postural alignment. But it's not about achieving the monkey bars. Instead, even just a hang with knees bent but your toes still on the ground is a really beneficial thing to do and feels great, especially when you have tightness from lots of work at a computer. And after a while, you might just be tempted to find a bar in a playground or even invest in a pull-up bar, which we can rename as a hanging bar, so that you can try taking those feet off the ground and doing so for longer and longer. Practice makes progress after all. If you'd like to start improving the mobility and strength of your shoulders, or to prepare them for starting to hang, then try my video 5 natural movement exercises to mobilise and strengthen tight, weak shoulders. To conclude, one of the reasons natural movement resonated so much with me was because I could incorporate it throughout my day and on walks, as well as longer training sessions. I also realised that actually doing that was the missing link in my life that would keep me well, and prioritising that daily movement was just as important as getting the exercise box ticked for the week. I hope these 5 movements make you think about how you move throughout your day and encourage you to move a bit more and think about how you can add movements into your daily life to feel better and do the things you love and keep doing them for as long as you want. If you enjoy following the movement videos, then you'll love the Reclaim Movement membership, which has live classes, over 60 class replays, 80 or more mini movement breaks of 5 and 10 minutes to help you practice anytime. There's a 7-day free trial and the full details are all in the caption below. Happy moving naturally.